afternoon, 4-Hers. Today we're going to do a marshmallow catapult, but before we do, I want to introduce ourselves. Most of you who've been in 4-H before know me as Winona here, but with these masks, obviously, sometimes that's hard to recognize. We want to practice good COVID precautions, and you should be doing that at home too, because we don't want any of our 4-Hers to get sick. I want to introduce our new director that is going to be helping us in this grant year.
Yes, my name is Morgan. I am the new Food Sovereignty Coordinator with the Catawba Nation, and I'm going to help you build a marshmallow catapult.
All right, what we'd like to do, since this is a 4-H club activity, we would like to say our 4-H pledge. So say it at home with us. I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. Thank you. Now let's get started. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take, you have provided for you 20 sticks of one color and about 6 of another color. Don't get hung up on that. You can make this catapult any way you want. So you grab your sticks, and the first thing you start on is put glue on both ends, and you're going to make a nice square. The main thing to remember, glue guns are hot. We've provided one for you, so if you don't feel like you can comfortably use one, get an older sibling or get a parent to help you. It may look good, but don't touch the glue. It is hot. So what you want to do is put glue on each end of your stick, and then you want to glue them right in the middle all the way across. So you see how Morgan has made a complete square. Now you're going to fill in the square, and this is where you can have fun. Mix your colors or use the same. It does not matter. And don't be in a hurry. Glue is going to dry when it dries, and it is very important that each step dries before you go on to the next. Don't worry about trying to keep up with us. We kind of cheated and made one before we got on camera for you. And by the way, this is going to be on how to get to this video. It's going to be sent to your parent. And we're also going to send you complete instructions, a link for that. So you'll have plenty of time to catch up. The main thing is there are certain parts that we're going to be doing with this that will require a lot of glue. You have a lot of glue, and so when we say this part needs a lot of glue, please do it. That way, when you go to shoot your catapult, the whole thing won't fly across the room. Morgan has successfully filled in all her blanks, and as you can see, we've got a complete square with all different colors. Again, if you want to do all of the same, perfectly fine. There's no right or wrong on this. Use your creativity. Now we're going to do a triangle. Everybody should know what a triangle is. And you're going to glue each point of your stick here, and then attach it, and then glue and attach it. When she completes doing her triangle, we'll hold it up and show you what it looks like. In your link that shows you the directions, please read the part about what, in making your catapult, you're talking about different types of energy and how that plays into everyday life. Pretty interesting to know that every part of your catapult has a different type of energy, like kinetic energy or chemical energy. So just make sure you read that. I found it very interesting. Now that we have our 2 triangles constructed, you want to put them on your base. You want to glue all the way across the bottom of your triangle, and a little bit on each end. And this is where you want to get it really good. So when you stick it on the base, you'll come back with your glue gun and go along both sides. This little clip that we're giving you in your materials has to fit in between your catapult. So when you go to put your second triangle, just make sure you can still put this right in between. If you got the triangle too close together, it's not going to work. But if you mess up, you can always take it apart and start over. Now I'm going to hold it. That's why you probably are going to need an older sibling or a parent to come help you when it starts to try to want to separate. Because it will, until it sets up, the triangles are going to go kind of leaning in. And you don't want that to occur. And I can surely promise you this glue is hot. I just stuck my finger in it, which is what you should not do. I'm going to hold it for Morgan, away from the glue. I'm going to let it set just for a little bit. Alright, now that you've made your triangles and let it set up and it's cool to touch, you kind of give them a little light wiggle. Don't worry about them having to have a little bit of give, because you're going to be putting a support beam in a little bit. But you don't want to let go of your triangles and then they go like that or like this. So once it's set, we're ready to go with step number 2. What you'll do in this step, this is one of those steps I told you about a while ago where you really need to use a lot of glue. You will take glue and put a ton, as she's showing you on the stick. Then you will stick it down and completely cover your metal wing of your clip. Then you're going to make a sandwich out of it. Glue the other side. So you've got metal in between metal, just like a sandwich. And don't be afraid not to put a lot of glue. Definitely glue it. And as Morgan's doing, she's running glue all along this little ridge after it's together to help keep it held together. Because this is an important part of your catapult. This is what gets all the action. So if it's flying apart or breaking on you, it's not going to work. See how it's on one side? Once you master that, now you get a chance to do it on the other side. You do the same thing on the other side. You take your popsicle stick, glue it like she's doing all the way across, lay it on the metal, glue another one all the way across, put it together, but again, be careful if it gets on your fingers. It's not going to be fun, trust me. And with this step, it's very, very, very important that you push it tightly together, and you're careful not to get it on your fingers, and you let these 2 steps dry. See how it looks like almost like a bird? Got both sides. Let it completely dry, because if you get in a hurry and that glue's not set and you go on to the next step, then you're going to find that's where everything starts falling apart. So you definitely want to let that dry. All right, now that you feel that you've completely let the glue set, we're going to take the piece that you just constructed, looks like 2 bird wings, and on the bottom of the clip, we're going to fill that full of glue. That's one of those things, be as generous as you can be. Stick it right in between the 2 triangles, right in between. See how she's done? That's really, really important. You have a lot of glue there, and you hold it in place until it sets. Then, let me help you, Morgan. Then you can add more glue just to be sure it truly is stuck to your platform. And then you're going to take one of those little wings and you're going to fold it down. And you're going to glue the bottom part of that wing to your platform. Glue it down really good. And so then that's going to mean you've got to wait for your clip to set, and you've got to wait for your bottom part of your popsicle stick to set up before you go ahead with anything else. Really, really important. All right, now that you've made sure and then remade sure that your glue is completely set. Remember, don't be too anxious, because if you didn't let it set, it's not going to work. Now that you glued it on, the next step is you need something to kind of support these 2 triangular pieces. You remember we talked about that a while ago? This is going to be the stabilizing bar. So what you do is lay a stick, any color, across the top part take your scissors and cut it just a little bit further than the spread or the span. That way it will reach both of your triangle points. And then you glue that stick heavily to the top of your triangle. That holds the whole thing together and makes it much more stable. And again, I'm going to caution you, watch your fingers. Both Morgan and I have had some accidents, and we can very much trust us when we tell you to be careful. You don't need to try it yourself. Now, while that's setting, and you can tell it's across the top, holding it together, that's called your stabilizing bar. While that's setting, you take your little soda bottle cap and you take glue and put on the end as much of it as you want. But remember, the only part that's going to stick is when you stick it to the stick. So you may want to just put it on the stick, but it's totally up to you. Then after you get a little blob on there, you put your soda cap and you push a little bit with your fingers supporting it. See how she's doing both sides together so that you're holding it on there. Now, you gotta wait till all that dries. Now, while that's the end of your marshmallow catapult, but we're gonna show you, we're gonna send some instructions out by way of your mentor that tells you how you can win a prize. And that prize is simply won by making your catapult. It's competition. The first 5 club members who shoot their marshmallows the furthest, you need to take a picture and, of course, measure, showing with the camera how far it went. And as a 4-H'er, remember, tell the truth. You're going to take your little marshmallow, you're going to stick it in here, and I'm going to let, since Morgan has worked so hard on this, I'm going to let her show you how this works.
Okay. All you do, once it's ready and firm and glued down, you'll hold the base of it, put a marshmallow in the cap, and push it all the way down and shoot.
See that? It will shoot pretty far. You're being provided a bag of marshmallows. If you shoot the marshmallows, see which one went the furthest, take a picture of it where it lands. This one happens to be on the floor right there. When you're all said and done, please pick up your marshmallows. You don't want somebody stepping on it and pushing it into the floors, and you don't want your little baby brother or little baby sister going around eating old marshmallows. So have fun. Remember to let us know how you did. Even if you don't want to enter the contest, which there will be prizes for the 5 furthest shoots, we still would like to know that you made this. You have 1 week to watch these videos and make this project and let us know. Happy Marshmallow Catapult making.